Hi FlossTube, it's Michelle, Farm Girl. I'm almost embarrassed to make another video. I'm sure this is going to get uploaded and y'all are going to be like, what has she got left to say? But this is my week 1 Stitch Mania update, which I've been having a lot of fun with. And I will say it was different than last year, and I have now started as many starts as I did the entire month of May last year. And the difference is definitely the fact that I kitted it all up, which I didn't do last year. And I put all the floss with, like when I have a pattern, I put all the floss and the fabric with it. And I'm not bobbinating, which is, it is a little different for me. But I like it. I like that, that I don't feel the stress of having to do that. So. I was going to do my video yesterday, but we had, the one and only Nubian that was bred. I have 4. Nubians are kind of the long-eared brown goats, and I have 4 altogether, but 3 of them are yearlings, and they're small. They don't grow as fast as the Sonnens, so I didn't breed them. So I just have my senior Nubian. We had like 8 of them, and I culled really heavy last year, and kept the 1 senior, and I kept 5 yearlings, and then just right before we started kidding, I sold a couple of the yearlings. So, but that was my AI breeding, artificial insemination, to a really nice buck who is very well known because he's got many beautiful daughters and many champion daughters. And he's structurally super correct, and he was a beautiful buck, and he's been long gone. And so I had some semen, got my doe bred. The result was 1 single buck kid. Now, mind you, this is her 3rd freshening, and she's always had triplets. So one single was disappointing. The fact that it's a buck kid is extra disappointing, and that may sound really harsh, but the reality is, I mean, I can't use him. I have his mom, 2 sisters, and let's see, and a niece. So he's too close. He's actually really nice though, so I'm hoping he doesn't go into the market pool, and that he'll be good enough to sell as a herd sire. So far, he's pretty impressive, and he's a nice big buck kid. So I have him here, so I'll show you. So he was just born yesterday. So here he is. And so he's a Nubian. He's got these long ears, and they have Roman noses, and he's probably a little hungry. I don't have a bottle for him. So he's got a rounded nose, unlike the Sonnens, who have a dish face and have more of a straight face. Yeah. He's pretty whiny. But he's super sweet. He's really cute. But he is really nice. He's really high at the withers. He's pretty wide in the rear. And you wouldn't think that you could tell that, but you can. Interesting, this band here, this is called a belt. And this is actually it's a dominant genetic trait. They don't have to have it. He's got what's called a full belt because it goes all the way around. And he's got big side splash over here. Frosted ears, most common. Yeah, this is a dominant genetic trait. And so everything I've bred in this line has some kind of belt. Even if it's a white spot down here, it still that means that they have that gene. So, yeah. He's a little cutie. Little dude. Look up. There. And he's got a pink nose. Everybody loves a pink nose on a Nubian because they're ridiculously adorable. Nubians are different from Sonnens in that Sonnens are heavier milkers. So they're like Holsteins. And the Nubians are more like a Jersey cow. They make less milk on average, probably about 20%, 20 to 30% maybe. But they have a much higher butter fat. So a Sonnen averages about a 2.5% butter fat, and Nubians are between 4 and 5. So better for making cheese with the higher components. They're usually higher in protein as well. Yeah. So at a dairy where they make a lot of cheese, this would be a better breed, because even though they milk less, a lot of that milk would go for whey, where you get a lot more solids out of a Nubian who has higher butterfat. Are you so cute? Are you going to cry if I put you down? Yeah. So he'll go out to the barn probably tomorrow. I get an extra day of babying him. As long as he stays in the bucket, he gets to stay in the house one more day. He sleeps. He gets his little tote next to me in my office. And when he cries, I snuggle him. Yes! They do have a really loud cry. Yeah. Can you hear him whimpering? Just sad little dude. Can I put you down? Can I put you down? You are so cute. Okay. Give him kisses, Dookie. Okay. So. Oh, I just dropped one. Okay. Now, on to my mania starts. I have been really good, and I've started a project every day. Day one, I thought this would be a good car project. Because, you know, ABC always bring cross stitch. So we were out and about, and I thought this would be good until I got in the car and then remembered that I was going to stitch it on 40 count. Needless to say, I got home and frogged everything. Well, and then I also, it's because I have been stitching, I don't know what I was stitching. Oh, I was stitching the Blackbird design, and I was doing 2/2. And so I was in 2/2 mode. So I came home, ripped it out. By the time I got done ripping it out, it was time to do chores. Went and did chores. Came back in, started stitching again, 2/2 again. Had to rip that all out. So by the time I actually got real stitches in, that's all I got done. And it's so tiny. Look at how tiny that is. Teeny, teeny. I'm thinking, and this is the... So, I mean, the whole ornament is only going to be probably that big. Like, it's not going to be very big at all. How tiny is that? But that's okay. So that was day one. And see, in that, I have all the... Oops. Oh, you can't see. So there's all my floss, too. So that's really working, and that's really made the difference. And I think I'm just going to do that with my projects from now on. Because I keep... 4 floss boxes in my coffee table, which I'm going to keep those because I do have a full set of DMC, which I've had for many, many, many years, since like the 90s. So I'll keep that, but I do like the idea of just kitting stuff up now. And if I buy stuff, I plan on stitching it, which is why I started all this. This is pretty much my whole stash, so I don't have too much beyond this. A few things here and there, but that's about it. Okay, start number 2. Everybody's probably so sick of seeing this. It is it Coffee Quaker, not Quaker. I always want to call it Quaker Coffee. Coffee Quaker. And this one, I believe I'm also stitching on 40 count. 36 count pearl barley. And let's see. That is my start. Not much on there either. And I stitched it and frogged it because I started with 2/2 and then realized that wasn't right. And so far this is called 4 colors, but I just put all sorts of browns and everything in there. Emily C did one color. I saw a picture on Instagram and it was so pretty. It was like almost went from shades of brown to black. So I'm hoping that was one of the called 4 colors. Okay, so that was start number 2. Start number 3, which I could not wait to start. I love this so much. It's so cute. It's the Brooks Books freebie, Happily Ever. Oh, the Happy Couple. How cute is that? Love those colors. I was super excited to start this, and the next day I did not want to put it down. So what I've started doing is stitching it, because it has been hard, except for these two because there was so much frogging involved. But otherwise, it's been hard for me to put them down. So I stitch on it, and then I'll stitch on it the next day until chores, and then after chores, when I come in for the evening, which is usually around like 9:30, then that's my new start time. And as long as I stitch on it, you know, get a couple strands, and if I want to go back to something else, I let myself do that. So as long as it started. So this is my start on that. And it's really cute. I didn't realize that all these spaces in here call for beads. So I don't have the beads. I do have a bunch of beads from other projects and eons ago, so I might see if I have something. But how cute is that? I love the colors. There's not many colors in it now, but just I love the color combination is what I love. So that one's been fun. And that one actually I'm stitching on, what was that? Oh, I think it was a DMC Monaco that I got on clearance, and it's 28 count. I got it on clearance at Hobby Lobby. And I did get a bunch of Joblin on clearance there too, and it was Zweigart. So I'm wondering if they're how much of that stuff they're going to discontinue. And I've not seen any 32 count there in a long time. Okay, so here, then day 4 was Plum Street Samplers, John and Abigail Adams. This is super cute. And this was another that was a little bit of torture, and I didn't get much done because it was 40 count. And I forgot, and I started 2 over 2, and I was like, what is wrong with this? And because it was so bulky, and it was so hard to stitch, and then I realized my mistake, had to frog it all out. But I did get that much done before I went to bed, and I love this too. It's so cute. So that's just the, that's just this right here. And this I'm using DMCs. Pretty much all DMC. I do have a couple variegated flosses in here. Oh, look at how pretty this one is. Cherry bark. Oh, a couple of these are the called for colors. Isn't that pretty? It's really dark. Okay. I feel like that's really bright. Oh, and then this was my fabric is a 40 count doubloon, and this is a piece that I bought from Nicole, from Nicole's Needlework. It's one of the pieces that I put to good use. So that was, losing count already, I think that was number 4. And number 5 was Barnyard Christmas. Sorry, I just got to take my pattern off here. I'm just going to fold it over. Okay. So next one was Prairie Schooler Barnyard Christmas, and I started with the cow here. And this is one that I've been keeping at my desk. And I was hoping to have this one finished, but so I've actually worked a couple days on this, but those are a lot of stitching, believe it or not. But that's really cute. And then I'm going to do, so my goal is to get this one and another one done by the end of the month. The pig is next, and I'm hoping to get them both done. We shall see. Okay, then next was actually finish, which once you see it, you won't. It sounds really impressive, but it's not. Okay, is the snow day, and I was just doing, I've already stitched this, and I was just doing this little piece, and I started and finished that. And there's that. So cute. And I'm just going to make, I can't decide if I want to do like a scissor fob out of it, or if I want to do like a little pin cushion. But that's adorable. I love, love, love. I mean, who doesn't? Prairie Schooler is adorable. Okay. Ooh, after that, so we are on day 7. So day 7, love this one, is Woolens by the Primitive Hair. And this one was another one that really hard to put down. This is so cute. Okay. And this was on a piece of fabric I dyed myself. Oops, still has a needle minder on it. And this is my needle minders from Judy at Salt of the Art, I believe. There's a couple videos ago, there's a link. She made me, oh, you actually, there's the other one. There's my Sonnen dough, and then this was my buck. Oops, where'd it go? There they are, aren't they cute? Love these. So there's that, and this is just a piece of fabric I dyed myself. This, I think it started off like coffee or maybe walnut crystals, but I could not get it dark enough, and then every time I rinsed it, it would rinse out, and it was making me crazy, so I just used tan RIT dye. And so all of this actually, isn't he just kind of eerie? He's super cool. But a lot of this is going to be stitched over. So, because he comes kind of around like this. And it's all going to be stitched in white. I haven't decided whether or not I want to, don't eat the bedding. He's eating pine shavings. I haven't decided if I want to, antique that after, or age it, or stain it after after I stitch it. Maybe not, we'll see. See, he fills a lot of that up. I love this. Okay, so that's that. And last one for day 8 is Colonial Dry Goods by Little House Needleworks. Almost all of these I'm doing in DMC, and I might throw in. So these are all my floss for this. Oh, this one actually, this one has a fair amount of overdyes, I believe, but I have loved this for so long, and I finally decided to get it. So it called, I don't remember what fabric it called for, but I've had this Dove gray linen in my stash for so long. Here's my start. But it's been in my stash for 20 years. This was a piece of fabric that a friend who, she started rubber stamping when rubber stamping got really big in the 90s. She started doing that, gave up cross stitch, and gave me her stash. And it had a bunch of fabric in it. And it just, I don't know, it looked really dark and dingy. So I just over dyed this with a really diluted aqua blue. The aquamarine blue from, I did a dyeing tutorial. If you saw it, it's that blue. And I just did it really faded. And actually here's so here's the color on white linen. Let me see if I can find it. Here's an envelope. Okay. So you can see, this is on white. You can see it's just really, really light. And so I just over dyed it just to give it more of a blue tinge and not kind of the dingy gray, because I didn't want to have to buy fabric. So it works. I'm happy with it. And it was a big piece of fabric, because this is, I actually started another project on this too, but it's this. Then I actually have a second piece. So it was big. But I like it better with the overdyed. Okay, so that was week 1. And I did get my, my patterns came in the mail today for Sleepy Hollow. And then I just thought I'd show the colors. So these are the results of my dyeing. Oh, is my phone moving? Okay. So this is a little, well, it's much better. Okay. Because the color in my video was terrible. So this was a blue Ada. Oh, much better. Okay, that's the real color. This was another Ada that I just did with a tan and then brown. I think I'm going to stitch on Ada. I mean, this is really pretty to me. I don't mind this at all. This was linen with tan and brown. And this was Joblin. That was orange and I think black or brown. This is for some dark October stitching. This is the same color. I did add a little bit of purple on this one, but look at how different the oranges are from linen to Joblin. The linen, actually in my video I said it wrong, but the linen I think was lighter, or wasn't as orange. But you can see there's, yeah, definitely different color. And then, oh, here's my fail that I did not show on the video. Okay, so this is, I put it in the microwave and got it hot, and the dye really soaks in and stays. So I don't particularly like that. This is the whole piece. It's very camouflagey. And it's very green. This looks kind of muddled up here, but this is all, well, that's kind of where everything kind of hodgepodge together at the bottom of the bowl. So yeah, this was all kind of stuff that was sitting in the mix because I poured too much into, so doesn't do anything for me. And this is I think this is a linen. I don't know what on earth I would ever have to stitch on that. But it's very green. I don't know, can you tell? There. Very greeny. So, yeah, that one didn't really work out. This was my second attempt, definitely more what I was going for. And this is Joblin, but I did want it darker, but I love how moody it is. It does have a lot of purple in it, but I think it's really pretty, and I would totally use this. And I think that this is a 20, yeah, that's a 28 count. That one's pretty. Oops. Okay. Dookie stretching. And, okay, and then this is the linen version. So here's linen, and here's the Joblin. Isn't that crazy? And the linen I really like. It's very moody. This is awesome. I love this. So that's pretty cool. And this was the original piece that I did. And this is what I'll be stitching. Sleepy Hollow came today. So it's Glendon Place. And I think that's going to be really cool on that. I'm just doing, it's all DMC pretty much, and this is all it requires for a specialty. So this is the list. Yeah, it's just all DMC except for this right here. And that is just 2 different kinds of beads, 2 packs. And I can't remember who it was. I think it's, let me think of what her Instagram name is. I've been watching her stitch this forever, and it's her fault that I'm doing this. Stitch All the Things, I believe, is her Instagram name. but I'm pretty sure she did it with the Karen water lilies. This is what it calls for. And there's also acrylic that you blend with it. I'm assuming that's what it's for because but I wasn't sure about this because it's kind of got like a lime green but I looked on Instagram at all the people that have stitched it and it works. I mean, it's really pretty. But someone, trying to think if it was maybe Gem Stitch. Somebody did it in DMC glow in the dark floss and it was pretty cool. But I just went with this. I think anytime you get an opportunity to stitch with silk, do it. So that was that. So this is going to be my reward. I have, let's see, I think 21 more projects. 21 more projects I have to start, and then I can do this one. That even sounds crazy when I say it out loud. And I got my sampler. I had said that my day 31 start will be a sampler. Okay, so I ordered. So there's Nicola Parkman from Hands Across the Sea Sampler has a YouTube channel, and she hasn't really posted anything on it. I think she did. I subscribed back when did a tutorial on the Millennium frame or something like that. So then I started getting notifications. She started posting little videos about the samplers that they have. And they're super charming. She's really neat to listen to because she tells the history behind the sampler. So I'll try and remember to put a link to her channel below. So I also wanted to give a shout out to Attic Needlework, and they are in Mesa, Arizona. That is who McKenna and Kara went and visited that shop. And so I called them, and I can't even tell you, like, beyond polite, incredibly attentive, like, fantastic customer service. I got it in the mail today, and this was kind of a birthday present because these charts aren't necessarily cheap either, and I don't usually buy stuff like this, so this is an extra special. I was going to do it in silk, but honestly, I just can't justify the expense, so I'm sure I'll do it in DMC, but this is how it came, like wrapped in tissue, and that's all I ordered was the chart. That's it. So, I mean, I didn't tell them it was my birthday. So here it is. I mean, it's so cute. I love this. I'm just a sucker for nice wrapping. I was going to save this until the very end and not even let myself open it, like let it be a present, but I thought that's going to be hard to, it's going to be hard to kit up if I don't open it. Okay, so what I got is Hannah Coates. There was another one I wanted, but they were out of it, and I was kind of battling between these two, so I just decided to go with this one. And this is not as super hard and tedious. The chart is all done in color. I've already opened it. I just wanted to show you how it was wrapped. And it's so pretty. So she gives a little blurb on her YouTube channel, what they know about Hannah. And honestly, I don't even remember. And it was just, yeah, so here's the list of silks I would need. I just can't do it. And like some of them, 4 skeins, a lot of them 2 skeins, and it's a pretty big sampler. On a 40 count, it's 23¼ by 22 inches. So I don't know. I feel like I'm going to spend enough on the fabric, so I'm just going to, that's what I'm going to do. I don't even think if you wanted to do it on a 30 count, I don't know that you'd find fabric big enough. So, but this is it. This is going to be my last start of the month if I start everything else. I think that's all I got. You're probably sick of me anyways. So thank you for watching, and thanks for all your kind comments on my last couple videos. I look forward to stitching all the things. And sorry, this was last night we trimmed the buck's hooves, and we had Mo was not having it, so we actually had to put him down on the ground. He's about 300 pounds. I mean, he's pretty docile and pretty sweet. but he doesn't care for his hooves being trimmed. So yeah, we had to make him lay down for it, and then he kicked me a couple times. So, and he got me right there, and he got me in this. I got a big bruise on my boob. So that's it. Thanks for joining me, and have fun stitching all of your Maynia projects, and I'm really loving all your guys' updates. So we'll see you next week. Bye.